partial lockdown on selected sectors of the economy to curtail the spread of coronavirus with effect from the 27th of March 2020. His Majesty emphasizes that the economy must continue to be strong and robust to ensure that the partial lockdown does not ground the kingdom. The increasing number of confirmed cases in the country calls for all of us to be vigilant and responsible in all our actions in order to quickly turn the tide against this rampaging virus. His Majesty has therefore commanded that the King's Birthday Resource Mobilization Committee should now fundraise for COVID-19. Through the Council of His Majesty, government has established emergency coordination structures that will implement the COVID-19 emergency plan. These committees include a cabinet subcommittee, emergency task force, regional and sector committees. They have now hit the ground running, working on effective response measures to contain the spread of the virus across our communities. May I pass my gratitude to the Deputy Prime Minister and all members of these committees for their devotion and dedication to this cause. I applaud all Mswati who continue to heed to health precautions to combat coronavirus and adhere to measures introduced by government to curb the spread of this pandemic. My gratitude also goes to all the companies that have poured in resources to support the fight against COVID-19. The partial lockdown that is being introduced today entails the following. From Friday, 27th March 2020, for 20 days, all unnecessary movements and visits outside the perimeters of your home or residence are restricted, except to provide or acquire essential services such as healthcare, food, or banking services, and for the personnel performing such services. We encourage all employers to allow as many employees as possible to work from home. Essential industries are expected to continue operating whilst observing the proper hygiene standards that will protect employees from the pandemic. Government will engage further to ensure that proper hygiene measures are complied with. The Ministry of Commerce will provide guidance on which industries fall under essential service. Following the announcement by the South African government of a lockdown, government advises that only goods and cargo, as well as returning citizens and legal residents, will be allowed through our borders. Returning citizens and residents will be subjected to a mandatory 14 days quarantine at designated locations, except for those who are able to self-isolate. Non-essential travel between towns, cities, and regions of the country is not permitted, except for medical reasons or to provide or acquire essential services. Transport of food and goods will be allowed. Employers need to ensure that worker density in the workplace is not more than one person per square meter. Employers are expected to provide facilities for employees to wash their hands before entering the workplace, every 2 hours and upon leaving the workplace. Electronic payments and online banking services should be used where possible, rather than physically visiting banks or ATMs. Elderly grants shall be dispersed through electronic payment systems henceforth. Public transport will only operate for essential movement and with 1 meter distance between passengers. All bars are closed. Bottle stores will be allowed to operate from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Mondays to Saturdays. Police will be vigilant in closing illegal drinking spots and ship-ins. In all food outlets and banks, the public is restricted to 20 individuals and a distance of 1 to 2 meters between each other. All public gatherings of more than 20 people are prohibited. For purposes of this paragraph, public gatherings include but not limited to religious activities, sports events, conferences, wedding celebrations, music concerts, parties, gymnasiums, or other activities or places where the public gathers. The Army and the police will be deployed to ensure compliance with all these measures. Chiefs and traditional authorities will take a leading role in enforcing these regulations that will enforce stiff penalties on defaulting or defaulters. Transport of goods and foods across the borders will be continuing. Government fully understands that the global spread of COVID-19 has caused anxiety and, in some instances, panic. May I appeal that we all take this threat seriously and follow international best practice and advice from the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization to slow the spread of the virus. We must avoid unnecessary panic, as the situation will be normalized if each citizen continues to play their role and abide by these measures and health precautions. Government understands that the introduction of these measures may cause some inconvenience and hurt the economy, but the safety and health of all Mswati is the ultimate priority. Government is working closely with the private sector to find solutions to mitigate the negative impact of this pandemic on business. May I strongly warn against overpricing of goods and services by retailers at this time. His Majesty views these tough times as an opportunity for Mswati to work towards self-sufficiency and sustainability in food production, energy, and other products. Once again, I would like to emphasize that all of us should follow the precautionary guidelines as provided by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. These include keeping the home environment clean and safe and disinfecting all high-touch surfaces regularly. Stop shaking hands and use other non-touch methods of greeting. Maintain a distance of at least 1 meter from each other. Wash hands regularly with running water and soap or use alcohol-based sanitizers. Create habits and reminders to avoid touching your face, your mouth, your nose, and eyes, and cover coughs and sneezes. Take care of the vulnerable, especially senior citizens and those with underlying respiratory conditions who are more susceptible to the coronavirus infection. If you experience flu-like symptoms, fever, difficulty in breathing, cough, high temperature, visit your nearest health center facility or call the Emergency Medical Services toll-free line 977. This is a time to unite to fight this common enemy. Mswati should admonish each other to ensure compliance with all measures announced by government. May I assure the nation that government is committed to emerge victorious against this health threat, and all necessary resources are directed to the efforts of accelerating our response. I further appeal to the public to rely on credible information that will be disseminated by government through established communication channels and through the media, and reject misinformation from any other source, especially social media. Government appreciates the guidance and counsel we continue to receive from His Majesty the King as we continue to tackle this pandemic. Thank you.